Good evening. How's it, guys? So tonight I have Juanita Botha on this live, and we're going to be chatting to her. She's going to be sharing some of her insights and information on business and mindset. Let me just get Juanita on here. Just hold on. Juanita, how's it?
How's it, Quentin? Are you?
Okay, and you? How's things
Good,
going?
thanks. Good. Can't
Cool.
complain. But yeah,
Okay.
we're just strange times that we're operating in. So you've got to be a lot more nimble and doing different things than you normally do. But yes, for me the days feel like they're flowing into one another. I never know whether it's Sunday, Monday, Thursday, what it is.
It's the joy of working from home. Now you don't have a Monday or Friday or Saturday anymore. So now it's 24/7.
Exactly. It is like that.
So cool. So Juanita, I just
was
wanted to ask you if you can maybe just give us a bit of your sort of background. We were speaking about you've got obviously a day job, as we call it, or an 8 to 5, and then you also busy with another project, which we'll get into just now. But if you can maybe just tell us, how did you get into sort of network marketing, if you will, and sort of just a bit of a background of how you got into everything and how you built your business and that.
sure. So yeah, I wish it was 8 to 5, Quentin.
It used to be 8 to 5.
It's more like a 12 to 12,
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then in between, I've got to find time for my own business. But you make it work. So I've always worked in the corporate industry all of my life, and 5 years ago I got to a crossroads, as I say, in my career. So when I moved companies, so the company that I'm currently with, at that point in time I actually said, you know what, I'm not going to be at this company longer than 5 years. I have a tendency of really staying long with companies, and I said, okay, this time I'm not going to stay nearly that long, 5 years, and then I've got to be out of there. And of course, when 5 years came along, I was like, okay, what the hell now,
What was 5 years? Was 5 years 10 years ago?
No, not quite. Yeah, you're correct. Because I have been there 10 years already. Exactly. So it is like that.
Yeah.
So from going and saying I'm not going to be there for a very long time, I've ended being there 10 years. So I'm now, I'm doing exactly the same as what I've done on previous occasions. But anyway, I've at least been working on a plan where previously I wasn't doing that. But, because it really got me to a point where I said, okay, well, I said I wanted to leave. But for me, it wasn't just a question of, okay, well, you leave and now what is the next thing that you wanted to do? So that really got me thinking about where it is that I want to be. Do I want to, it's not that I'm unhappy where I am. Do I just want to leave because I said I can't be there for longer than 5? Or what is it that I wanted to do? So I needed to really figure out for myself where it is that I wanted to go in my career.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to start my own business, but so it always sounds so grand to say, start my own business, but you really need to know what it is that you want to do. Because if you don't, then
it's a good place to start.
That's exactly right, and of course the thing is about working for a company is, of course, is that you have the benefit of a salary that you're earning every single month, and so for me, it was, you get used to that. You obviously, have certain overheads and expenses. So, of course, to go on your own and go and do your own thing, you need to have the security and the confidence that you're going to be able to make it work.
Yes.
And so for me, I just then went and I said, okay, well, what is it that I want? What do I want to do? What is it that I like? And, and there were a couple of things that happened economically worldwide that also just got me thinking about various things, and one of the things, of course, is Zimbabwe, which is our neighbor, of course, and not that they're out of any amount of trouble, they just seem to be able to get deeper into it, but that really got me worried. What if South Africa had to go the same route? What would we as South Africans do, and how would we survive? and how would we make money? And then the second thing that happened is that the Greeks woke up and they couldn't access the money in their bank account. And I came home and I said to my husband, I said, what do you and I do if that had to happen in South Africa? Because you live of what is in your bank account, and if you suddenly don't have access to that, what do you do? And I think that is a concern for majority of South Africans. It's not like you've got money stuffed into a mattress or under your bed, or oodles of something sitting offshore or whatever.
Well, I think with this COVID thing also, it's made people. I think a lot of people that I've spoken to realize that things can happen very quickly. Things that you never thought of, even never mind normal things.
You see, that's exactly it, So the COVID thing is like the Greek thing, and so that just got me thinking about what I needed to do, and so I just went on a journey where I then started exploring different ways of being able to make money. But what was an important criteria for me is that I could start something on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
So I could work full-time and I could start it part-time, and of course network marketing was the ideal vehicle for me to be able to do that. It's really an opportunity for you to build a great business at your own pace, in your own time, and really do well. And it gives you the opportunity to then potentially then decide, okay, do you want to continue playing both sides of it, work full time and do that, or are you now ready to be able to go on your own? And of course that is my objective, is for me to have my network marketing businesses enable me to actually resign from corporate life. I always said I don't want to work till the age of 60 and 65 and retire. I want to be able to retire early. Okay. And then be able to do my own thing. But we all live this dream of I want to be able to have the time, the freedom, and the wealth to be able to go and do whatever it is that I want to do when I choose to be able to do it. And so, Of course, that's the dream that I have. I'm a keen golfer, and I love traveling. And so for me, I'd love to be able to travel all over the world and go and play golf courses and whatever. But at the same time, I want to be able to be earning money while I'm doing all of that. And so this, besides the fact that I then joined a network marketing company, and I specifically actually at the time got involved with Bitcoin, that I'm still very involved with, in cryptocurrencies, and that really became a particular passion for me. And I started educating myself and went on courses just to properly understand what cryptocurrencies are about.
Yes.
And that's been an incredible journey, and it's just, but as I say, what it did, it just really got me thinking very, very differently. My mindset changed. And when you made the introduction, you were talking about mindset, and I realized that your mindset and your journey when you wanting to build different kinds of income streams is really, really important. You need to have self-belief. You need to believe that you can actually do it. Yes. And so the investment that I had to make in myself and my mind is absolutely massive. And so I've really been an incredible journey. I've learned so much. I've been exposed to so much, different people, different opportunities, different projects. And and it's funny, as you start opening the doors to yourself and you start looking for opportunities, how opportunities present themselves. Have they all been good ones? No, they haven't. But that's where mindset comes in, is, often people, when the first time they burn their fingers on something, they say, okay, well, this isn't for me, and off you go. And so that's one of the things that I had to learn, is that I can't just give up because something hasn't worked out the way that I thought it would. I need to then find something else. And so through those mistakes that you make, you also learn what is right and what's wrong, and what works for you, and what are the things that you need to look for. And through that, it's actually got me involved in a variety of different things. And as I said, it hasn't always been smooth sailing, but it certainly has been an incredible journey up until this point. And COVID, I'm going into COVID. I can't tell you, Quentin, the fact that I started doing this 5 years ago has really, really put us into a position where, our salaries were impacted. So it's not like I've come through this scot-free from a corporate perspective.
Yes.
I certainly have been impacted by it, like many people have been. But my alternate income streams have helped us actually bridge the gap. So whatever I lost from a salary perspective, we've managed to make up through the other income streams that we're working on and that I'm building. So it really has put us in a very fortunate position. So if we hadn't started this journey 5 years ago, we wouldn't have been in this position, and we would really have been in big trouble. And I want to say to people is that it's never too late. Just because we're in COVID now and you may be in trouble and you probably have been impacted from a financial perspective, like vast majority of people have, is that if this doesn't
wake you up.
Exactly. If this doesn't wake you up and make you realize the importance of building more than one income stream, then nothing is going to do it for you.
I think it's shifted from being a nice thing to now it's a have to. It's just you can't. I mean, the few people that I've spoken to and stuff like that have either been their time has been cut off at work, so they're now only on half day or 2 days a week or whatever the case may be. So they by default now have to set up another income stream in any case, but they're forced into it. Not really a decision, but it's become now. You need to do it. It's not a question whether you should do it anymore. So,
and you're 100% right. It isn't a question of whether you should or shouldn't. You have to.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting article I read a couple of months ago where they actually talk about the gig economy. And the gig economy is absolutely about you having multiple different gigs, different jobs that earn an income for you and do different things for you.
Yes.
People in future, they say, is going to have up to 5 different jobs. And when I first read that article, I was like, good grief, how do people have up to 5 different jobs? But coming into COVID, I started understanding that a little bit better, because what's starting to happen, and you're talking about it, where people are on half time. So now you're on half time, so that means that what are you doing with the other half of your time? So now you're going and you're finding something else to fill that time. And then, so that's how you actually end up having 5 different jobs, and heaven forbid that you have to give your time for every 5 of those jobs, because I think you're going to be burnt out.
Yes.
And that's where it's really important to start looking at opportunities that will generate passive income for you passively. So of course, my network marketing businesses require me to be working in those businesses and giving of my time. But I'm also building businesses that doesn't matter whether I'm sleeping or whether I'm chatting to you, it's generating income for me. And it's really important to start looking at those opportunities, and they are out there, very definitely.
Yeah. So not everything that you're busy with is exchange for time and basically money. You've got other things that. Are those online-based type businesses? Because
so one of the so when I started looking at the kinds of things that I wanted to do, the things that were important for me is the digital space. I'm not a lotions and potions kind of girl, so I don't want to be selling Tupperware and bless.
Some
and I've got a cupboard full of
beauty
Tupperware,
creams and stuff.
I don't want to be selling the Tupperware, but I'll certainly buy it from somebody else and use it because I love it. And the lotions and potions, again, I'll buy it from someone else, but don't ask me to be selling it to you. So that's not me. So for me, I was really attracted to the digital space, being able to work online and doing stuff digitally.
When you say digitally, so obviously you mentioned crypto, so you in the crypto space and that. What
Correct.
other online stuff are you busy with?
So one of the other ones that I'm involved is of course data. So that's data is the new way going forward, and of course it's got more value than oil has, and the oil prices of late have obviously fallen through the ceiling or through the floor, and it's of course now starting to come back again. But data is the one area that is really growing massively. So I'm involved in a couple of things. I'm starting to dabble in one business, which is a new one. But another one that I'm involved with is a company where I actually make money out of my shopping slips that I used to throw away in the dustbin.
Okay.
And so what's exciting about that is when I saw this is I'm like, okay, well, I normally throw my shopping slips in the dustbin. If I can make money through my slips that I normally throw away, why would I not want to do that? I don't need to. I'm not a big shopper by any means of the imagination whatsoever. If I don't have to go to the shops, I'm the happiest person on earth. Between my husband and I, we always have an argument about who needs to go to the shops. But the fact of the matter is that that we all shop, whether we
Yes.
like it or we don't. We put fuel in our car, we buy groceries, we buy clothes. So it doesn't matter, whether you spend R1,000 a month or whether you spend 15,000 Rand a month. We all shop and we all have shopping slips that we get.
Okay.
So what this company actually does is they collect the information that's on that shopping slip. So, most of us, and I never used to look at my shopping slip until I got involved with this business, is if you start looking at the amount of information that is actually on a shopping slip, it's incredible. First of all, it tells you the store that you're buying from. It gives you the address of that store, gives you the telephone number of that store. It then tells them what it is that you bought and, of course, what you paid for it, what the brands are, what date you did it on, what time you did it on, how you paid. Did you pay cash? Did you pay with a credit card? It's incredible. And the thing is that the information on that shopping slip is valuable for retailers.
Yeah.
And so retailers want that information. They want to understand what Quentin and what Juanita does when we go to the shops. And the reason why that information is so valuable to them is because they're going to market to us specifically based on our needs and what it is that we shop for and what we like.
Yes.
If you think about how advertising works currently, it's really a shotgun approach. So you either have an ad in a magazine or a TV or a billboard or whatever, and you hope that your target market is going to drive past or happen to see the ad in the magazine, and then act on that ad.
Yes.
Whereas targeted marketing means that I understand what Quentin likes. I understand what Quentin does and how he spends his money and how he spends his time. And so I can now specifically market and target him and say, okay, well, Quentin, I see that on Google, you're in the market for a car. So you know what? He has an ad for a BMW, he has an ad for a Merc or whatever the case might be. And so they're specifically targeting you. And that is the way that data is being used every single day, and we don't even think about it.
Yeah, well, I think people are obviously from a marketing perspective. I think people are becoming a lot more aware of it. 10 years ago, we didn't quite understand Facebook's business model, as in how are they actually making money, or how's this gonna, why are they so valuable? Because they've got no assets, they've got nothing. But obviously now with all the information, when I do my sort of marketing and stuff like that, and you can start now going into what area the person lives in, their interests, their hobbies, their job title, are they single, married? I mean, it's quite scary, the amount of information.
Scary.
But there's a flip side to that too, is that the nice thing with it is that when I do get advertised to, it's stuff that I know that I'm interested in. So I don't get advertised on women's clothes and stuff that I'm not of no use to me, that I have to scroll through to find what I'm looking for. The stuff that I'm looking for comes to me and it's there. So that's the flip side that helps as well, is that you be able to do that. So this data then, I think this is a bit of latency here.
What was that?
I said I think there's a bit of latency here. So what I was going to say to you now is so the actual receipts is what they collect in. So you're scanning that receipt up, and they're collecting that shopping receipt, obviously on mass scale, or because you need mass data.
So they obviously want members, because it's about information. They need the information. The slips that we've been throwing in the dustbin, they want to collect that because that information on that slip is valuable to businesses. So they collect that and scrape the information from those slips, and they of course then sell that information on to companies who want that information. And as I say, retailers are a big example of that. Retailers want to understand what Juanita is going to come and buy when she walks into my store, and so I'm going to make sure that I have the right thing on my shelves for her to buy. So it's, you know, a lot of people look at data as in being very sinister. And so, yes, there probably could be a sinister component to it, especially when it comes to your personal and private information.
Yes.
But I mean, there's platforms that are now going to and you know, you about a few weeks ago, you actually had Romeo on, and he was talking about
data protection and that, yeah.
Correct, where you have a blockchain that is actually going to protect your personal information, and you're going to be able to sell your personal information. At the moment, when you share your personal information with someone, they have access to that information, and they can literally do whatever they want to with that information. They can sell it on to somebody else, because when you joined Facebook and you went and completed all of the information, you actually gave consent for them to do that. And so, of course, what this platform now suddenly does, it puts the ownership back into your hands. You're going to start choosing what you want to do with your information and who you want to share it with and who not. And you're going to start monetizing that.
Yes.
You know, and that is exactly the same thing with the shopping slips. So a shopping slip, people always say to me, oh, well, that's my personal information. I said, well, you used to throw the personal information in the dustbin. So I could go and take it out of the dustbin and use it, but then yes. You know, it really it's going to take me forever to be able to do a deep dive into a dustbin and collect people's shopping slips. So why not put a platform in place where you give people the opportunity to upload those shopping slips and you monetize it, you give them money back for the effort of submitting that information, and you're actually building a business, you know. So there are two elements to it. Is the first element is that you can get 20% back on in data points on the shopping slips, and then within the system you obviously have opportunity to be able to turn that into cash, and then the other one is that you bill for your time, because now as you building a network of people, you having to support that network, and you can start billing for your time. So you become a consultant for that business. So what a great way for me to be able to make money out of something that I'm already doing anyway, except that I just now don't throw my shopping slips in the dustbin. Yes. I'm just now uploading it into a back office and sharing that information.
So I wanted to ask you, one of the questions I had here also was, and I think you've already basically touched on it, and that is, what are the main benefits for you that you see in network marketing? Just the three sort of the main things that you would say, that's why I'm in network marketing.
Okay, so I said earlier on, you know, the big thing for me about network marketing is it gave me the opportunity to be able to build a big business, yes, part-time. And then potentially do that full time. And you know, there's a lot of misunderstanding around network marketing and what it's about. But when you start looking and reading about very successful business people, you know, they always say is that my network is what's important to me. You need to develop the skill to network. You need to be able to build relationships with people, and that's what network marketing is about. Network marketing is about networking and building a network of people that you can build a relationship with and build businesses with, and so those are important components to it. But besides that is that network marketing, you know, when you read Robert Kiyosaki, if you look at I forget a couple of names, but you know, when you look at some of the really, really big names, they all talk about network marketing, and they always say if they had to lose their businesses and lose the money that they've got now, what they would do is they would get into network marketing, because network marketing gives you the opportunity to build a big business with a system, okay, and you can leverage off other people. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, when I leverage off other people, I'm like, well, what do you think your company is doing that you're working? They are leveraging off the time that you're giving them, and you're paying them a salary. So it's no different.
Yeah,
companies leverage off employees. So just because it's a network marketing business, now suddenly it's a negative thing. But what I really like about network marketing is that, yes, I may be leveraging off my network, okay? But if I don't help that network become successful, then I won't be successful. So in order for me to make money out of my network and my network marketing business, I have to help my network make money. Otherwise, I won't make money. And so what I like about it is it gives me the opportunity to help other people become successful. And in the process, so do I. So if they make money, so do I. And that is a very, very powerful thing that network marketing gives you. And of course, network marketing, and I've got to try and remember the phrase, but they say that network marketing is a self-development course disguised as a business. Because if you do not develop yourself, you don't invest in yourself, you're not going to be successful in your network marketing business. And you know what network marketing does? It highlights all the self-doubt that you have about yourself, all those little voices in your head that tell you that you can, you can't, you know, all of those, the little voices that talk to you all the time. Network marketing highlights those things, and you've got to work on your mindset and those things in order for you to become successful in network marketing. So I really love it as an industry. You know, I am a people's person, so I obviously like talking to people and interacting with people. And, you know, through network marketing, I can help change people's lives. And that's a massive attraction for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no. Well, the big thing there is being able to start a business. Typically, it costs so much money, the capital that you need and stuff like that. Whereas, you basically your buy-in or whatever you want to call it is minimal compared to anything else. And what you're going to be learning, it's not always about the money as well. It's the skill set that, like I always say as well. The skill set sometimes outvalues the money you're going to make, actually, because it takes you sometimes on a different path, but that you wouldn't have necessarily been on or learned the skills without it. Cool. So I wanted to ask you also, I know you're big on mindset and stuff like that. So what resources do you normally plug into? So, and the reason why I'm asking this is a few months back, you and Phillips gave me a copy of Robin Banks, which I pretty much listen to still to this day, at least one chapter every morning. That's for me. I know you enjoy Robert Banks as well, or you know, you use his stuff a lot. What other sort of material would you say from a mindset perspective?
So there are various tools. So Philip and I've obviously been on a mindset training course. You know, just because in order for you to be able to change your mindset and actually realize that we're often our own biggest enemies, you need to recognize that you need to work on your mindset. You know, so many of us actually just get up in the mornings and we just function as a robot. We don't think. We just I'm sure most of us, when we get into our autopilot. So we don't think about it, and you know, all of these things coming to a head, negatives, positives, whatever the case might be. And of course now in COVID, we get caught up in the negative space of COVID, and now I'm locked in my house and I can only go to the shops and I can't travel anymore, and we focus on all the negative things, and those negative things actually just become, you know, a little thing like this eventually becomes a massive thing like this, and it just explodes because we're focusing on the negative things. So what's important from a mindset perspective is that you use tools like the Robin Banks videos. You have to learn. You know, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, but I don't like reading." Okay, you have to find
I do
easy
audio
and simple things that you've got to read. You just have to. And there are lots of little short books that you can download that is easy to read and simple to read, that are like 28 to 30 pages long, that will really give you great value from a mindset perspective. But there are certain skill sets that you need to develop as well, and one of them is to work on the fact that you've got to be in the now. So you've got to be conscious of what it is that you're thinking and that what you're doing, so that when you're being negative about something or saying something negative or using negative language, you can actually start recognizing it. Because when you can recognize that you're negative about something, or talking negatively, or using negative language, you can start working on it and building on it and improving on that. And so those are skill sets that we've had to learn, and you have to undo that. What people always say is that in order for you to develop a new habit, you've got to continuously do it for 21 days, and on the 22nd day, that'll be a habit, and that is absolutely what it's about. Mindset is exactly the same thing. But there's so much, Quentin. Actually, on YouTube, there's really brilliant stuff that you can use from a mindset perspective. Short little videos that you can listen to.
Who's your main people that you follow? Like for me, it would be obviously Robin Banks. Tony Robbins is the immediate one. Les Brown for me is another one that comes to mind immediately.
Correct.
And
correct.
Yourself,
so
that comes to mind just quick off the top of the head.
Gosh. Well, you've mentioned all the ones that I would have that I was thinking of, and of course Tony Robbins. I love Tony Robbins. So he's one of the big ones that I'll always listen to. And I was fortunate enough to, what are we now, 3 years ago, probably close on 4 years ago already, Philip and I attended a network marketing event in America, GoPro. It was our first event that we went to, and Tony Robbins actually did a 3-hour session
at that
at GoPro. And I'll tell you what. So Philip. Okay,
yes.
Now I'm a rah-rah kind of person. Philip's not a rah-rah kind of person. Okay,
not at all.
So for him, when I said to him, "Listen, we're going to go to GoPro, and I've got you a ticket," for him that was like a death sentence. Okay. But let me tell you, I can show you videos and photographs of Philip's after that session with Tony Robbins. Well, Philip was rah-rahing and jumping up and down.
You're going to have to send me some of those videos, because that's good blackmail material.
Exactly. It was just phenomenal. Philip was just so inspired, and he just felt so empowered after that session. That was just incredible. So I really like listening to his stuff. Jim Rohn is another person that I really like listening to. He's really, really great. Who else can I think of? There's actually a lot of people, and some of them not necessarily even people that are well known. Many of these videos get shared, and whatever the case might be. For me, it's just about going and saying, okay, well, does that resonate with you? Does that video or that little clip that somebody shared with you resonate with you? Go and look for more of that, and expose yourself to more of that every single day. Wake up every single day with a purpose and saying, okay, well, I'm going to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes before I do anything else. I'm going to feed my mind with positive information, positive affirmations. Why am I grateful for being alive? I think now in the COVID period, there's just so many things that become apparent that we just used to take for granted every day. So this is probably still my pet peeve, but I hate sitting in the traffic.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you that I do miss that. And it was I'll tell you what, 4 months ago, if you said to me, Juanita, in 4 months' time, you say that you miss sitting in the traffic, I would have said to you, couldn't you stop raving that? It's just that can never happen.
It's crazy how you miss these things that used to pee you off before.
But that's it. But that's exactly it. And small little things that we just take for granted. The fact that I can walk out of my door and just go and do whatever it is that I choose to do, not what the government tells me I can and can't do. Just that. Is so go and find all of the things that you just used to do without even thinking about it, and start being grateful for those things. And because they some of these sayings are just, I always say, they're so corny, but they actually, when you look at them, they're absolutely true. There is always a silver lining in a dark cloud. Always. We just have to learn to find it.
Yeah.
Always. And that's the trick.
I think the problem is there's so much of this positive quotes and things that get put out now. It just gets posted. People read it, but you don't actually read it, because some of those most basic ones, there's some gold in those that you only 10th or 15th or 100th time that you've read it, or maybe it's just the timing of where you're at that it just clicks and it's like, okay, that actually makes sense, and it's a one-liner. So yeah.
Yes, yes,
All right,
yes.
cool.
No,
I'm gonna stop there, whatever. I did say I want to try and keep it to. We've gone over the 30 minutes, but I think what I just got an idea, but I'll chat to you offline, and that is maybe doing a session and let's maybe just chat about mindset stuff, because I'd like to speak to you a bit more about that, and just find out exactly more on what you've gone through and stuff like that, or what resources you've learned from in that, and share some of that as well. I think that would be
yeah,
good.
we'd love to do that. Maybe we can have a session with Philip and I together. We'd
Yeah.
love to share that. And if it can help other people, absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Juanita. I'm gonna
Super.
stop you there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. Like I said, I'm going to maybe try and get Juanita back on here sometime when she is available. I know she's extremely busy between the 8 and not so much 5 job anymore, and also the other projects that she's involved in. So I am going to end it there. Thank you very much if you did join us. I saw there was quite a few people on at one stage. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and have a lekker weekend.